She was like, well, you know how you're never supposed to cross the path of a black cat? No. What? With all the stray cats in my neighborhood, I'd never get anywhere. You ever find out you're a little out of step with everybody around you? I have. Just a couple of months ago, I was having lunch with a friend at one of those fancy brick oven pizza places. We were standing right there by the exit, and so I just walked on out the door, and she walked across the restaurant and out another door. And when we got outside, she said, "You went out a different door than you came in?" I was like, "Yeah." She looked at me and shook her head like I was flirting with death. She said, "You're not ever supposed to go out a different door than the one you came in." I was like, is this another one of those superstitions that I'm just now hearing about? Yeah, she really believed it. And I was like, sister, you need to chill with that. Next thing you know, you'll be feeling like you have to eat black-eyed peas every New Year's in order to have good luck. Boom. Who is telling these people this stuff? I am so glad that I missed out on that door superstition. You got to imagine, you can't come in, So back to middle school. I was sitting in algebra waiting on class to start. My friend Stephanie was being a little dramatic, and she was like, I think I'm gonna have to cancel my sleepover because Friday is Friday the 13th. And I was like, so? She was like, so? It's Friday the 13th. She was like, I'm just very, very superstitious. And I'm like, super what? I don't know what that word means. She mentioned walking under ladders and stuff like that. She was like, well, I don't know how to really explain it. You know how you're never supposed to cross the path of a black cat? No. What? With all the stray cats in my neighborhood, I'd never get anywhere. She said, and you know, if you break a mirror, 7 years bad luck. Not familiar. I said, I am not tracking with you. She was like, I'm just very, very superstitious. She said, you're not? I was like, not one bit. Not one bit. Seriously, you're worried about black cats and ladders and stuff? She said, yeah. And then, you know, like, knock on wood. I was, knock on what? She said, you gotta knock on, she said, you gotta say knock on wood after you say certain things. Not familiar. Or you gotta say bless you if someone sneezes. I mean, I have heard people say that before, but I didn't ever. She said, I know. How about the lucky penny or the wishbone? I was like, yes. Now, okay, yes. Now, I've done both of those. However, to me, that's the same thing as like step on a crack, you break your mother's back. That's just kind of a game. You're not really blessing and cursing. I was on this quest for the next few days. I had to know who all was superstitious. I was surprised to find out how many friends had grown up with superstitions. They were surprised to find out that I hadn't. They actually thought I was joking with them. My friend Drew was like, okay, so let me get this straight. Friday the 13th comes along, you don't feel uneasy, like not one bit? Not one bit. He said, okay, you're walking down the sidewalk. Black cat comes directly across your path. You don't? Nope, never heard of that. None of that bothers me. I didn't even know this was a thing. In my family, we weren't worried about black cats or Friday the 13th. We were worried that the rapture would take place and we would be left without our parents. You talk about some real problems. You be 5 years old, your parents get snatched up to the sky with Jesus, then you gotta learn how to cook. My husband Ben, he was raised Presbyterian. He never heard of the rapture till he was in his 30s. True story. And I was like, what? Those lucky Presbyterians? I had a friend who, when he was 12, his family was staying in this hotel room, and unbeknownst to him, his parents got up early and went down the hallway to the hotel lobby to have some coffee, left him and his little brother sleeping there. He wakes up, they're not in the room. He panics and thinks they've been raptured, and so in a panic he flies out of the room, races down the hallway, bursts into the lobby and hollers, where are my parents? Oh, there you are. And his dad says, son, you need to go back to the room and put on some pants. 12 years old, in the lobby in his tighty whities and a white t-shirt. So back to middle school, I felt a bit out of step. In fact, to catch up, I started using some of those new terms I had learned like all week. And I'd pass someone in the school hallway and I'd be like, hey, Friday the 13th tomorrow, be on the lookout. Or I might be like, knock on wood. Yeah, I felt kind of good, kind of speaking the lingo. But I wasn't afraid by any means. By the time those superstitions crossed my path, it was too late for me to be afraid. It really seemed kind of silly. I was out of step with the people around me, but I wasn't out of step In fact, I could step anywhere I wanted. And it felt pretty good to know I was free. Free! I could step under a ladder, cross the path of a black cat, leave the foot on the rabbit, break off the small side of the wishbone, break a mirror, break a mirror. I'm Karen Jr. I'm a songwriter-storyteller. I've got even more stories to share, so click up here. I'll see you there. Break a mirror, break a mirror. I can break a mirror. Oh, I can break a mirror. Leave the foot on the rabbit. Break off the small side of the wishbone. Free.